Hi everyone, Janet here from The Real Deal. We are talking this week about how to research online courthouse case files to perform a due diligence search of a property on which you are interested in placing a bid at the courthouse foreclosure sale. When you are at the point that you have picked out a handful of properties for which you are interested, now you need to do your homework by doing your own title search and look for problems in the case file that might end up being your problem. This is always time consuming, so you have to learn how to be quick but thorough. In this 3-part video series, Phil is going to walk you through how to sift through the online legal information to help you make smart investing decisions. Be sure to sign up for the premiere of these videos as well as our future videos where we will be on hand live answering questions you may have on investing. So now here is Phil to continue the discussion.
And as I'm going through here, I'm saying it looks pretty good, but I'm starting from the inception of the case on, and I come across this motion to stop the sale or some pushback. Well, you know what? It depends on your risk tolerance and how many properties that you feel you need to bid on. But I'm going to basically, if I see any pushback from the defendant, then I don't bid on it. So I would not bid on this sale right here. As you see, the person that did bid on it went on to get their title, but perhaps they need their risk level, they're more risk tolerant than me on whether they get their title or not. Perhaps they need to have a larger number of properties to bid on because they're trying to do a lot more than me. So it's really, you have to develop your own risk tolerance. But I will tell you, if I see anything like this, I'm just automatically going to toss it, because it speaks that somebody, the defendant, and you can see right here, has motioned for some remedy in the court, and so that tells me they are pursuing it. It did go on to get denied by the judge, but you know that my experience is that it's not unlikely. It didn't happen in this case. It's not unlikely that this person, because they're involved, when it really comes down to it, that they end up shooting their silver bullet, and that is just suggesting that they're going to call bankruptcy. Whether they declare bankruptcy and go through there, all I have to do is go through the preliminary proceedings, which is going down to the bankruptcy court, filling out a simple form, and paying the dues, or getting the dues or getting the fees waived because of their financial ability to pay. Regardless, all they have to do is just file bankruptcy, and it stops the sale. And if it occurs after you put your money down, then you as the investor get stuck for the court costs. So I'm not really willing. That's the risk. I don't want to risk that I have a defendant that has any degree of litigiousness, that they're going to file bankruptcy and I'm going to lose my court costs. So that's something to think of. Looking through here, I don't see, it looks like there was an order, a motion to reschedule the sale. Let's see what that is. For whatever reason, this doesn't concern me so much, even though I've already said I would reschedule, because this is the plaintiff actually rescheduling it. In here, well, this would kind of clue me off to one thing. You see it says they want to cancel because they are in the middle of loss mitigation or mitigation negotiations with the defendant. Okay, so when you see these motions for the plaintiff to cancel the sale, you want to read them. Sometimes they're just motions because the bank doesn't like the date it's being sold. I've seen them cancel when there's hurricanes coming through town because they figure nobody's going to bid, even though I don't know, they're electronic. They're also cancel because maybe the attorney didn't get their ducks in a row. They may cancel because they're aware that the plaintiff is declaring bankruptcy. In this case, they're canceling because they're in negotiations with the defendant, which I'm not sure if they're required to do or as a matter of PR. They do. But still, this speaks that there's somebody out there trying to keep their home. It's not a rollover. I hope they are able to keep their home. I'm not trying to suggest that this is bad on the part of the defendant. I think they should try to keep their home. But again, it's really not incumbent upon you to take on the bank's problem. You probably need just to avoid those sales. Going back here. So in this case, they reschedule the sale, and we go back up to the bid amount. So, you know, I would not have bid on this property, but the winning bidder did, and they went on to get their title. And if you look if you're looking from a historical perspective, let's see what happened after they got their title and after the sale. Well, remember I told you that they could complain, that anybody could object 10 days after the sale. There's the sale, there's where they paid their money 24 hours later on the barrel 100%, and here's the certificate of title. It looks like nothing happened. Nobody complained. So the winning bidder got their title. That gets recorded in my county. The clerk will do that for you. That gets recorded. You do have to pay the recording fees on top of the court costs. So remember to add, when you're bidding on property, remember to add the court costs and the recording fees, if that's the way your county works. And one interesting thing here is that there is a writ of possession. And what's happening is just because, and this speaks to the second tier of risk that I want you to consider, and I want you to manage, is that just because you paid for the property doesn't mean that you get possession of the property. So here this individual is paid cash on the barrel 100% for the sales price for their property. They have the title in their hand. They're responsible. Even if anybody's injured there, it's in their name, or in their LLC's name, however they decided to title it. And look here, motion for writ, WIRT. What is that? That is when somebody is in the property, and now you have to go and ask the judge to give you that property, to give you possession of that property. So that's something else to look at. Again, the way to manage that is you try to peer in, and I showed you in this case, they were suing the occupants of the property, so the bank knew perhaps that there were occupants, tenants in the property, and the tenants have rights. When you foreclose on the property and there's tenants living there, they've got deposits down, they've been living there for a while. Chances are they've been living for free for a while, but regardless, the courts give them rights against you and in the property, and you have to file for a writ, and they have rights. In cases they can live there 30 days. If you yourself are moving into the property in the state of Florida, they have to move out sooner, but they can make all kinds of objections too. So you want to consider that. And that's, again, I like estates, or I like buying houses that are vacated. I may have to do more work on them, but I like to manage that after risk that I'm going to have to fight somebody to get them out. And plus, I don't want to kick anybody out of their house. I don't want to go up and knock on the door and there's some family living there and say, hey, you need to get out. I might be inclined to try to rent to them with their tenants and say, I'll just pick up a lease. Seems like when I've done that, it always goes bad. I got to evict the tenant anyways. But if you can put that together, and if they become good tenants, then that I am never in a hurry to kick a tenant out that's living there if they're going to be paying tenants. Here we go. Looking after that, everything happened fine in the docket. So we're going to look at a few of these, again, a little bit dry video, but we'll walk through, and I think it's very valuable for you. Again, very valuable to understand this docket. There are certainly other sources of information that you want to go to understand the sale, but this is primary. You've got to go to it. You've got to know what's going on in the sale. Future videos, go ahead and, if you would please, go ahead and like if you feel like we gave you some information, go on and like the video, click to subscribe. What's coming up next is we're going to talk about how to do your own title search and how to find out whether you've got code enforcement issues, whether you've got IRS issues, a whole bundle of stuff that we're going to show you that you've got to take in totality and do, because again, the whole objective is to lower your risk. If you're going to get into foreclosures, you really got to lower your risk, because you got a lot of money riding, and you really can manage that risk and have a very small chance of getting taken to the cleaners. But the horror stories I see when someone taking the cleaners, they can get taken to the cleaners big time. So I want you to manage that. Again, click like, subscribe to us, and we'll see you in the future videos. Thank you very much.
So there you go. We hope you found this informative. Be sure to join us for another interesting and informative discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to sign up for our live question and answer sessions. See you real soon.